Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Friday class. We are at the end of the month, right? The end of March. And it's 5:30 here in California. Thank you for joining us today from wherever you are joining us all across the country. My name is Ma Puana. I host our Friday classes for anybody in Doterra that is interested in creating a healthy lifestyle. It takes time to do that, right? And so it's important to connect with other like-minded people who are interested in doing that through using essential oils and supplements and creating good, healthy habits. So welcome to our class today. I want to remind you to use the chat feature on the bottom. Somebody already dropped a chat there, as well as the reactions button as we go through our presentation today. Our topic is the pursuit of 2022 with Doterra. So the pursuit of having a positive impact on people worldwide. And so what I'm going to encourage you to do right now is to expand your thinking process, not only to your community, your family, your warm market, whatever you want to call it, but people all across the world. Believe it or not, I believe that every one of you here have contacts in different parts of the world, right? That we may not think about, but that we can wish good upon, or we can help by sharing an oil, right? In a world of chaos, it is incredible to see all that doTERRA is accomplishing to better the lives of both sides of the bottle, the growers and their communities, and us. And so this is the way that it should be with all companies, but they are only one of the companies doing this in the world today that I know of, right? And it's not an easy job, but they push forward. And so why do we want to review and talk about what took place in 2022 when it comes to their impact? Well, it's important for us as customers, as builders, as sharers of this product to know about their annual review, right? And so most companies do this kind of thing. They perform annual reviews that allow you to evaluate what practices are currently in place, whether they're working out or what direction the company is going in, right? These checks and balances encourage new business growth. They keep all staff members on the same page, and they ensure customer revenue is boosted. And so it is something that we should be interested in. So my intention is to help shed light on the charitable acts that take place behind the scenes. Sometimes you don't hear about those things unless you go to live events where corporate is sharing all of this information, right? So we're going to be going through the report slowly together tonight and watching all of the short videos together, okay? Now let me share my screen and go ahead and get started with the report. Of course, if you have any comments or if anything touches you as we watch some of these videos, please share your feelings in the chat, okay? So here we go. The Pursuit 2022 report. As doTERRA has grown these past 15 years, so has their potential to be an impactful force for good. They've always been committed to doing things differently in the pursuit of positive worldwide impact. And along the way, they've had to recalibrate and reform. The doTERRA story is still being written as we seek greater insight into our effect on the people we work with, better understanding of what happens in our supply chains, and lasting hope for a more sustainable future. So I hope that you enjoy this video.
Here we are in the Chaco Forest in Paraguay. Here is where the guaiac wood trees grow.
The beautiful part about it is the intensive work that has been done to ensure that all of the wood that gets harvested to produce the guaiac wood is sustainably sourced.
Science and research at Doterra is the foundation of what we do.
There are so many different opportunities within STEM for women nowadays. You can go anywhere, you can be anything that you want to be.
I work with the Core Impact Sourcing team. I support the African cluster of sourcing countries. The mission of Doterra is helping to make the world a better place by integrating smallholder farmers, wild harvesters, and micro distillers into the value chain.
Usually when disaster happens, you have to come up with something. And Doterra already has the pre-made essentials that you need.
What's so amazing is how willing people are in the Doterra community to step up and to truly make a difference in times where people really need it.
So you are here because you are part of this community. If you would like to download the Pursuit 22 report, you could certainly do that and go into greater detail to learn about how you could have a bigger impact. But here is some of the goals of our company, Doterra. Their goal is to triple their impact by 2030. So like 7 to 8 years, right? So think about how you're going to contribute to their goal, because they're constantly reminding us that they can't do it without us. And we want to help them, right? Because we love using the products and sharing the products. So the Doterra Healing Hands Foundation goal for 2023 is to improve the lives of more than 1 million people via the Match program. Also, donate $3 million annually to the Hope Action Plan. Now, in 2022, the Match program affected 248,830 lives. And the Hope Action Plan was able to raise $544,151. And so if you remember our Hope Oil, I forget how much it cost if somebody wants to look that up and then drop it in the chat. Our Hope Oil is just one of the oils where the whole price of this oil is transferred over to the Healing Hands Foundation. I think the other product is the rose oil, or no, the rose hand lotion for $20, right? So when you purchase this, know that you're contributing to the Healing Hands Foundation. You can go to the Healing Hands Foundation website and look up all of the different match programs that wellness advocates all over the world have created for different nonprofits that they themselves want to support. And then Doterra has created what is called the 25 Collective. That's a group of people who have committed to donating $25 every month to the Healing Hands Foundation. And you click on a little button in your back office in order to do that. So in 2022, Doterra Healing Hands launched the 25 Collective. Again, it's a monthly giving club for customers who want to make a real difference. So if you can do that, great. But if you can't, it is good to be aware of this program, just in case you have other customers who might like to or have to donate a certain amount of funds per year because of business to some type of nonprofit. They can certainly help promote Healing Hands projects. Now, did you know that Doterra provided help for the Ukrainian people when the war started? Check out this video.
Thank you.
So, learning about this side of the company really helps you understand the scope of their business, right? It is a science-based company and they are interested in helping us create a healthy lifestyle. But on a larger scale, there are so many charity events that they participate in and philanthropic work that they are involved in. So, moving on, wellness advocate empowerment through emergency relief kits when natural disasters strike. Wellness advocates are needed to distribute these kits. In 2022, there were 14 countries that were served and 38 American states that were served. This provides an opportunity for a deeper human connection. When you provide that type of relief for somebody who has lost their home or suffered a major disaster, you're not sharing oils in the same way, right? You're sharing hope and belief and making a deeper connection. So check out this video.
I went to the hospital that night to volunteer along with my husband and my children. And when we were about to come home, not knowing what we were going to come home to, and then driving and not recognizing the streets and not even recognizing that that was our house, that was so difficult. Like, how are we ever going to rebuild this?
Everything was up to a 10-foot surge. Basically, they lost absolutely everything from their clothing, their mattresses, their food. It's pretty shocking and sobering reality.
We've been living in South Florida for the past 10 years or so and just recently relocated to Chicago. And so we have a very strong community of people here. And when we heard that the hurricane was going to affect some of our extended community, we just wanted to do everything that we could to help them and to, within our power, using Healing Hands organization to support people when they're completely helpless.
We got a message that 500 kits were being delivered to our apartment, and we had to warn the apartment, complex that we were receiving a very large shipment. So sure enough, they came via FedEx, all these boxes, and we lined them up in our apartment. And then it became like, okay, how are we going to get them over to the West Coast?
We as Doterra partner with Three-Way Volunteers, which is an organization. That was very powerful because we had how to help them and they had all the connections and how to get things there the correct way. So I think it was a very powerful partnership to make things happen and maximize the effort that Doterra was doing and also all the people that were donating kits were doing.
It's perfect that usually when disaster happens, you have to come up with something. And Doterra already has the pre-made kits for the essentials that you need because you absolutely lose everything. The kits are just there.
Doterra is very hands-on, and because the whole Doterra community and the wellness advocates are such a tight-knit group, and it really is, family helping family, that that communication, it's not like, oh, here's a stranger we're going to help. These are people whose lives that
By actually showing up and having them see that they're not alone, like they were not alone, that we were actually there to hug them, and that the human connection. And for my kids, even my 4-year-old, you know, to hand out those kids and give a high five. It's like when you're giving a gift and you buy it 2 weeks in advance. You want the birthday to come to actually give it. To see my kids sharing that and actually being like, we brought this for you, and then hugging those people was, for them, was transformational.
What's so amazing is how willing people are in the Doterra community to step up and to truly make a difference in times where people really need it. And in the time of need, in the time of disaster, how this community is so close-knit, and because we have such a common connection of truly just helping people, it is amazing how everyone can just come together. And so it was really seamless how our whole team just united and people stepped up and volunteered to transport these kits, to get these kits mailed to them. People were independently reaching out to Healing Hands, and we were all able to work together to get the kits to where people needed them the most.
So we are truly in the business of helping others in any way that we can. So we actually have somebody on our team who requested some of those kits in Florida and was able to help her community. I don't know if she's on. Jana, I kind of thought I saw you join before I turned off my my video conference because I can't see anybody. Jana, are you here?
Hey, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can. You want to share a brief snippet of what it was like to receive all those kits?
Oh my goodness, that was such an amazing experience. Let's see, that was 2021 for the hurricane that hit here in Louisiana. And I didn't even know like those kits really existed yet because I was new to the company. I was just about to start Silver Club. And then all of a sudden you and Claudia were like, you should reach out. So I emailed my Silver Club manager, and she was like, this is who you need to contact. And then sure enough, oh goodness, it was such a fast process too. There was a few steps you had to do, but before you knew it, I had, I think 150 boxes show up at my door. And then she ended up sending me about a week later, On Guard hand sanitizer sprays and the wipes, like the little 10 packs or 15 packs, whatever comes in the little wipes. And probably, if I had to guess, 100 sanitizers and at least 50 of those boxes of wipes, just extra. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I wasn't even expecting so much from the little emergency kits were amazing in themselves. I already had some of that stuff in it. And then sure enough, like it's like they wanted to do even more and sent all this additional On Guard product. So it was an amazing experience to see the company that, we're behind.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing that. That was extemporaneous. I had not prepared to ask her that, but I'm so glad that you were able to share with our community locally here what your experience was like, because this type of thing is available from our company, right? And in the box, you get the On Guard hand sanitizers, a spray, tea tree roller oil, toothbrush, toothpaste, shampoo and conditioner, and a few other things. So the necessities, right? In case a disaster happens, stuff that you absolutely need. So that's wonderful to know that doTERRA has that available. So let's move into co-impact sourcing, okay? In 2030, these are some of their goals. 10 million lives improved in our sourcing areas. On source2u.com, there are a ton of videos made from each different oil that we can go and learn about the people who grow the plants, the distillers, what the process is like, and learn about how we can help impact their lives on a bigger scale. So Kenya we're going to go ahead and watch this last video and wrap it up with a few testimonials because time is moving fast this time. The impact of partnership on this co-impact source.
My name is Jacob Katuva. I am from Kenya and I work in Lunga Lunga. I work with the co-impact sourcing team. I support the African cluster of sourcing countries where we implement programs or projects that enhance livelihoods amongst the smallholder farmers. The favorite thing about what I do every day is when I get to interact with the smallholder farmers. I was born in a very rural, remote part of Kenya, and one of the biggest challenges we had was access to water. Unfortunately, 3.5 decades later, we still have the same problems. Some of the main challenges we have in this region include teenage pregnancies, early marriages, boys who are transitioning to secondary school, most of them drop out. Then it becomes also difficult to get any formal employment within the region. The choice of my career path was largely motivated by the need to make a difference. I got employment with a consulting firm who was working in the environment, engineering and development sector. And while working there, we got a consulting project with Oxford University, where our role was to support the university in doing research here in Kenya. I did my application to Oxford University for a research PhD, and I was accepted. And I went there, and my work was looking at the role of water and other development indicators on actually reduction of poverty. I got to meet Taylor McKay, who was also in Oxford University. I chose to work for Doterra because of mainly their core sourcing principle. Doterra is sourcing a lot of oils from different parts of the world, and in most of these areas, they are integrating the smallholder farmers to give them an opportunity to better their lives. Every day we head out to the field with my team. We aim to accomplish several goals. One of them is climate smart farming. Another goal that we have on a daily basis is to ensure that our farmers are adding to their farms. And also, most importantly, is to recruit new farmers to join the networks and continue increasing the impact in the region that we are sourcing our oils from. Doterra Healing Hands Foundation started sponsoring students to go to secondary school back in the year 2017-2018. The biggest need in our region is access to secondary school at this point in time. The mission of Doterra is helping to make the world a better place by integrating smallholder farmers, wild harvesters, and micro distillers into the value chain. Doterra provides a guaranteed, sustainable, and reliable market for their produce, which is fairly priced. Doterra also has the Doterra Healing Hands Foundation, which works on social programs through partnerships with the wellness advocates and other private NGOs and other interested investors in the regions that we source our oils from. So far, Doterra is working on 16 out of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, and we aim to impact at least 10 million lives by the year 2030.
So it is important to know about the impact of partnerships that Doterra is making, right? If that didn't touch your heart, I don't know what would. When you go to a live Doterra corporate event or convention, you hear about those types of stories. They touch your heart. You build your belief in the company. Sometimes they bring in the farmers and the distillers and they interview them and they ask them detailed questions about obstacles that they've faced, about their success rate, and about their future goals. So it's pretty cool to learn about those types of things. Co-impact sourcing trips are back. Before COVID, every couple of years, doTERRA would offer a co-impact sourcing trip where you can qualify for one of the trips, or you can pay for the full trip. And so you can come in here and click here and learn more if that's something that's interesting to you. Now, wrapping all of this up, the last couple of slides does focus on sustainability and their goals for 2030, right? We are going to watch our last video about guaiac wood because I love this oil. And every time I see this video, I learn a little something new. And my hope is that it encourages you to use the oil more. Listen to what Emily Wright has to say.
So here we are in the Chaco Forest in Paraguay. When you think about how large it is, it's 37 million acres. But here is where the guaiac wood trees grow. And this particular species has 90% sesquiterpene alcohols. We have unique chemistry in this oil that has never been seen in any other essential oil before.
This is a day that we've been waiting for a long time. The beautiful part about it is the intensive work that has been done to ensure that all of the wood that gets harvested to produce the guaiac wood is sustainably sourced.
I love to see that this is exactly where you began, right?
Yes.
You looked at the people that are on the ground harvesting the trees, right? The stewards of the trees, of the forest.
Absolutely.
You've made sure they have great living quarters, a great quality of life, right? That they have a kitchen, they have running water, they have electricity, they have air conditioning.
Yes.
Basically, so we created a true market price, saying, okay, so
For sustainable products.
for sustainable products, exactly.
For us, if it was all about price, we would go and get the cheapest price.
Of course,
Absolutely,
yeah.
of
Right?
course, absolutely.
But for us, that's not what it's about. These landowners have to make an income off of their property. So most of them are removing the trees to make room for grass to have cattle ranches. But what we have done is working with our amazing sourcing partners, we now pay a lease on the land so that they have reason to keep the land in its natural state. And we also pay them for each tree that is harvested off of their land.
They're able to provide meaningful long-term income to these landowners to help them preserve the native forest and ensure that it stays in the ground, which is exactly what we all hope can happen.
A management plan means to work with a forest and to be with the forest, to do conservation for the forest, and how you can be productive while maintaining all the biodiversity around.
That's our stock of guaiac wood that comes from our forest management plants. You can see here that beautiful blue color. Actually, it's full of oil, and you can see the blue is like it's the oxidation of the oil, and you can almost see small crystals of essential oil on top of that.
This is one of the most hard and dense woods in the world, and because of that, it takes a lot of time and process to chip it properly. It then goes through a conveyor system, gets loaded into the distillation units that are about 1,000 kilos in size. The distillation runs for about 17 hours. And the most amazing thing about this oil is that it is actually semi-solid at room temperature.
So this has been 3 years in the making, and we finally get to smell the fresh guaiac wood. And so we smell this wood that's just been chipped. It smells really smoky, but it has a really sweet note to it. Kind of smells like a little bit of a touch of rose. And I am so excited for you to understand the benefits of this amazing oil.
So I don't know about you, but I could certainly get behind a company, work for them and support them if they're interested in preserving this earth, right? And just by watching that one video, you have seen the great detail that they go through to sustainably source their products. Now, they're also interested in calculating their footprint. And so you may have already tried their shampoo and conditioner bars, which help us cut down on plastic use, right? Not only do they work very good and smell good, but it also helps us cut down on toxins and the plastic that we allow to come into our home. Last but not least, the report wraps up by talking about global logistics and sustainability and innovation in science, highlighting women in doTERRA. So make some time to go here, wrap up this report, watch this last video, and grow in your appreciation for doTERRA as a company, because we have a pretty special connection with a great, great company. So I hope that that has encouraged you to use your products, share your products, and build your confidence in doTERRA as a company. We're going to open it up for questions and testimonials on any type of success that you have had recently using your products or sharing your products, because we don't make enough time to do that, right? Joan encouraged me to do this right before the call, and I could not agree with her more, because I was just telling Beth over the phone today, I have so many stories. Like, life moves so fast. I have so many stories on how I've helped so many people, and I don't document them. I don't share them on Instagram because I don't have the time. I just keep moving on and working with the next person, right? Does anybody want to share before we close with our raffle? Let's share some success stories. Lynn, go ahead.
Since no one else is saying anything, I will tell you the shampoo and conditioner bars that we got in our kit at, I think it was convention when we got them. I thought to myself, my gray hair is so dry. There's no way I'm going to be able to use shampoo and conditioner bars, because I didn't think they would be good for my hair. And I was using doTERRA's shampoo and conditioner. It's excellent. I love it. I started using that shampoo and conditioner bar, and I could not believe how good my hair felt. It didn't feel wiry. Like the conditioner bar is amazing. And I also use it when I'm shaving too. But that shampoo conditioner bar is so good, and it is clean. We're not putting toxic chemicals onto our hair, into our head, you know. So I'm just really impressed with that shampoo conditioner bar that they came out with.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. Anybody else? Go ahead, Joan.
I could share about so much, but I don't know if people would rather hear about guaiac wood or about our sage that's about to get released, or maybe both. But the Spanish sage, I'll give you a little spiel on, but I do want to mention about the guaiac wood. If you have the guaiac wood oil and you have curly hair, our Jewish friends, our African-American friends that have beards that tend to turn into themselves and cause problems, or maybe they're shaving their head, our men that are shaving their head, any race, that's a problem. Us women, it's a problem whenever we're shaving, that we have razor burn and we have those sorts of issues. Guaiac wood calms all of those tissues down. So we want to use that in our lotion, in our aftercare products. If you have an aftershave balm that you're creating, definitely think about guaiac wood for that. But who here has Spanish sage? Like, can people raise their hands if they, because Spanish sage was available as part of doTERRA's, so that's not many hands raised, right? It was part of the convention kit. Okay, good, we have a few. That was part of the convention kit, and you may have it and not know how to use it, or you may not realize it's coming available on the 1st tomorrow, and you don't know how to talk to your people about it. So I'm going to do I may not have time tonight. It's going to happen the after service tomorrow, but I'm going to do a Instagram on Spanish sage. But I want everyone on this class to know that there is amazing clinical research around this species and cognitive performance. It has all of oodles of information on its historical use medicinally, because it was known as the salvation plant. Think of that, the salvation plant. But some of you have this and you haven't used it yet. So I want you guys to get this out and use it. And you think about sage, right? This is Spanish sage, but we think about sage and what is well known. A lot of people burn sage, right? So sage is well known to protect against negativity and energetically, things that are happening in the air, but we can diffuse this and not have to deal with that burden on our lungs of the burning of sage. We are truly getting this, the purity into the air, so it's medicinal and clearing and beneficial for us. And so I also like to use this with dry brushing to support the lymphatic system. But really what I want to talk about is its help with memory and cognitive performance and function, because that is what all of the research is showing. If you guys go on, I really encourage you to do some research on this. So my mom passed away in 2021 at the age of 84. She was physically healthy. My mom, she was amazing. She died of dementia. Sorry, gonna get a little choked up. She died from dementia because her brain was not supporting her body in the way that it should have. So clinical studies are being done with dementia, Alzheimer's, and it just gets me so excited, like seeing these clinical studies for these people that should never have to experience that type of pain. Well, during the last phase of their life, they've lived this amazing life and they should never have to experience this type of pain. So I get super, super excited with these studies. So do some research, go on PubMed.org. And then you're going to see all kinds of other things. Maybe this isn't a key thing for you, cognitive support, but maybe nervous system support, emotional support, hormonal, respiratory, like there's muscular, skeletal, integumentary, there's all of these systems. This oil is in a $30 price point. And so it's a big deal. You guys have to grasp this oil is a big deal. I want you to get to know it. Learn it. It's brand new. Let's roll it out to your people that need it. Because some people may be dealing with some other things, like, you know, they need support for healthy hormones, healthy liver, healthy adrenals. This oil can do so much. So diffuse it with peppermint and frankincense, put it on the roof of your mouth for cognitive function and your brain stem. You can dilute it, you can massage with it. There's all these different ways that you can use it. Use it all 3 ways. Just use it, you guys. I can't say enough about this oil.
Oh, you're so precious. Let's show her some love. We love you, Joan. I know that, man, we can totally feel your passion for Spanish sage. So we will spend some testimonial time on every Friday class from here on out. Okay. It's important for us to share stories, to share our passion, right? About certain products that we may not have used and hear other people's success. Concepcion, you had your hand raised for a little while. Did you have any stories to share?
No, I was raising my hand when she was asking who got Spanish sage, and I just forgot to lower my hand. But we all have all kinds of stories that are just unbelievable. But my most impactful products that are just touching so many lives around me is MetaPower. My 80-year-old mother-in-law who had really bad arthritis on her right shoulder that for years and years she's kind of babying it. She's not really moving it too much because it hurts, and she's taking pain medication. And then she also had really bad edema on her legs. At the end of the day, her legs would be so swollen, and her ankles and stuff. And she started on MetaPower in October, and she's so cute. She started in October, and then I get a text, oh my gosh, look at my ankles. I got my ankles again. I can see them again. So she's like really showing off. She took a picture of her ankles, and then my husband went to go visit her to help her with her sprinklers, and she's standing in the driveway and she's pitching like a softball player. And my husband's like, what are you doing, Mom? And she's like, I'm showing off. I got full range of motion on my right shoulder. So she's super excited, and she's sharing. And just everything that's going on with her is, she hasn't stopped buying it since October. So she's a believer.
Awesome. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. In our senior citizens, it can make a big difference in their lives, right? It's amazing.
Absolutely.
An 80-year-old. Awesome. Marcia, you had your hand up. Did you have something to share?
No, I was applauding you guys. The stories are so very touching. I love them. Thank you.
Awesome. You're welcome. Now, I do need to ask you, did you try any of the symphony cells, that picture that I sent you?
Yes. So far, yes.
Do you
I'm
feel
alternating them. I had Chuck put them on my spine. I'm doing the massage on the face. It's better. It's like every day that passes, it gets a little better. That's why between the 3 or 4 doctors that I had, the one says, this is Bell's palsy, this is nothing else. So I'm kind of following that along to see the improvements, but it's slowly fading. But it's weird when you feel like part of your face feels kind of funny. It feels like I had a shot of Novocaine, and it's still kind of wearing. So yeah, so far I'm working on it. We'll see what happens.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, Marcia.
Thank you. Thank you for all that info. I need it.
You're welcome. Marcia's one of my best customers, and whenever an issue comes up, she texts me, and then I send her something and she tries it, and it helps. It all helps. Whatever we use with doTERRA, it all seems to help, right? And so she recently had this problem, and I looked it up in one of my books, sent her the protocol, and I said what I told her. So she actually did more than what I told her because she's very experienced with oils. But I told her, put 1 drop of each of these oils on your cheek, do a little massage, and drain fluid all the way behind the ear. She took it a step further because she has that confidence. She had her husband put the oils on her spine and her feet. Your voice sounds very up and happy, Marcia. And so I'm so glad that you're able to go to your oils and find some kind of relief, some kind of success, right? We need these types of tools in our home to reclaim our health. So that's what we're going to end on, because we have a bunch of corporate leader-led events taking place all over the country that are called Reclaim Your Health. Very appropriately named event, right? So Joan has a couple, one in Kansas City, one in San Antonio. I'm hosting one here in California. They are taking place all over the country from April to June. If you can attend one in person, we highly recommend it. It will cost $10 for each registrant, but when you walk in the door, you get a 10 ml bottle of adaptive if it is on a big event where they have 100 people registered or more, okay? But on April 14th, in just 2 weeks, we are going to have a Reclaim Your Health event here on Zoom as one of our Friday classes. So you're going to be able to hear the presentation and see some of the slides of doTERRA's Healthy Lifestyle Pyramid. So don't miss out on that class. Bring friends and family because you are going to learn a lot more, okay? So thanks everybody for attending another class. We're going to wrap it up by giving away a bottle of Aroma Touch. Pretty powerful oil, right? Lynn, do you have a name for me?
Daniel and Isabel Salinas.
Isabel, congratulations. I have your address. You win the Aroma Touch.
Oh, good. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, everybody. That is a wrap. We went over time, but thank you so much for hanging in there with us. Like I said, we're going to be devoting a little bit of time in our Friday classes for testimonials. Okay, so have a great weekend. Bye-bye.